sessions at Max Tan with 3 Lincoln locations.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? Happy Hump Day. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School to New School way. We're live in effect. Brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese. Special ingredients and butcher shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th in Old Cheney / Andre Matin, 168th in Maple, up there in the O Metro, Omaha, O-Town, whatever you want to call it.
The other city.
Hey, they get gangsta up there, man.
Yeah.
That dude, Big Rail guy, he got pepper sprayed. I saw it on the internet.
Hello.
Yeah, he's some rapper got pepper spray. He's suing too. They pulled that pepper spray out quick. Listen, ain't nothing happening after 10 p.m. You might as well just go home. But one thing that ain't going home, Austin, is college football playoffs, man.
Oh no.
I know. I had some business to attend to, talking to it, and the SEC and Greg Sankey. He worked hard today or the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Kirby Smart got after him about the transfer portal. Now we want you guys on the text line. Text in. Do you think there should be 1 transfer portal window, the vortex, or 2 transfer portal windows, 2 vortex, or 3
vortices,
or 4
quarterly?
I ain't laughing.
I am.
Yeah. So
Dang.
1, 2, 3, or 4. That's number 1. And then also I want your guys' thoughts on this 5 plus 11. Pretty much next move that they're doing in the college football playoffs. So essentially, the 4 power fours in the group of 5, number 1 gets in, and then everybody else needs to compete from there. Do you like it, love it, or hate it, or do you want the 2 big dogs, meaning Big Ten and the SEC, to have the same format but be guaranteed spots versus filling up like in this case? You could make a case that the Big 12 showed better throughout the whole season than the SEC.
I would say I think that the initial proposal of 4-4-2-2-1-1, whatever it would be, was the really bad idea that the Big Ten and the SEC put out there, because anything else that they suggested would look better. They put out that we get 4 automatic bids each and you'll like it, to start an uproar. So then when they came back to the table with, oh, fine, we'll only get 1 automatic bid.
Yeah.
It would go over much better. They get the same result, because the majority of the at-large teams will be Big Ten and SEC anyways. But I go back to our discussion that we had a little bit, is what does college football want to matter, right? I think we're still in that kind of transitional phase between what we knew college football was and what college football is going to be. If you want conference championship games to matter, great, find a way for them to matter. But if the end-all be-all is going to be the college football playoff, you probably got to scrap the idea of a standalone conference championship game.
And then what about bowl games?
And then what about bowl games?
Do you have
Same
different
thing.
sectors of bowl games based on where you're at in the, I guess, in the European soccer model? That's what you're going to have to go to make everything worth something.
Mhm.
I think if you start to put some money out there for different teams, especially, if you get towards the championship and rankings and all that stuff, you're throwing money around anyways. I don't know what it could be per team, or it could be an option if you can afford it per team. Obviously, if you start to go and you say Nebraska win 11-1, I'm sure their budget and donations will probably go up by 200-300%. And so I don't know what the answer is. I don't think there's any right answer, because it never was thought out in depth enough at the very beginning. So now you're trying to do what you should have done at the very beginning at the end, and now it's out of control. So I think what you have to do is start making some decisions, and I think you need to start moving up those decisions when you put it in effect. So if you think you're going to go to 16 in 2028, well, it better be coming out in 2026, because you don't want to wait with the know-how of 16 is coming for the next 3 seasons and not be able to work on it before. You might as well just get take your lumps while it's happening, because that will actually give you more real-time results on how to make it a better product.
How does TV money work for the NFL playoffs? Do only the teams that make the playoffs, do they get the units like the NCAA tournament?
You get playoff money based on wild card round compensation.
And that goes just to the teams that make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You talked about that, right, as the incentive during On the Block. But the difference there is that everyone gets the same cut from the NFL.
No.
Well, there's revenue sharing, right? So you pay in.
Yeah.
But the TV rights were negotiated as a whole. And there are 32 owners as well.
Yeah.
That they're better owners, they're worse owners, they're powerful owners, they're weaker owners. But they all had to buy in. They all have some level of investment of skin in the game. And so everyone gets paid. Everyone's working together for the good of the league. There's much more organizational pull toward the shield in the NFL when there are so many competing interests in college football. I think part of the way to solve the money issue is, we talk about players collectively bargaining, players association, union, all that sort of thing. Media rights might never be equal, but they got to get on a more similar playing field. But because right now the Big Ten and the SEC have no reason to look at, the Big 12, the ACC, the Group of Five as equals, as deserving of the same, revenue as them, as say, the Chiefs, who are on primetime 7 times this year, compared to even the Colts, who only have, one primetime game, or the Titans, right? There's not that same level of even just baseline professional courtesy or respect. Like, hey, we're all in this together. I got to do what's best for my franchise, but I understand that we got to support you to some degree too. We'll give you the same level of check. You'll still play your games. There's not that same pull in college football.
No, there's not, and that's the way it should be. Just because you have different regions of the United States, different conferences, and different levels of play, depending on whether it's perception and reality. I think the biggest thing they have to do is start making some really clear and hardline decisions. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on bigger money than you're even getting now. You're getting grossly overpaid now from TV contracts and NIL and all that. But you could really double or triple it if you actually do it. Like I said, use the Tiger Woods thing, is like you work from the green back. Know what number you want, and and then commit to it. We're starting 16 early. Surprise. Okay. But we're committing to 16 for the next 6 years. I don't care what anybody says.
Top 16 straight seeding,
16
6 years.
Or whatever you want to do it. And you know what? We might change the seeding system every 2 years. You might just go number 1 through 16. Doesn't matter if you're Group of 5, ACC, or Big 12. If you're in the top 16, you're in. You might do that for 2 years. See how it works. Then you might do the thing where you weight it and all this other stuff.
Go S curve. NCAA tournament style.
Strength of schedule, all that. Injuries and all that. And then you might just, have a little bit of both in the last 2 years. But once you start doing that, then you can start attacking, like I said, the transfer portal, because that affects it as well.
Yeah.
Then you can start attacking, obviously, if you have a salary cap, players are unionized, represented, or just have some sort of consulting agreement to where everybody's potentially working on, on the same level playing field. And then whatever happens off of that, as far as your collective, that's the advantage of being in Nebraska or places like that can raise some money, and then you go from there. But if you sit up here and try to think, oh, we're gonna magnify the Big Ten championship because of what the Big Ten teams did, obviously this year, but then in the past, and same with like the SEC is still thinking of Bama like when Nick Saban was there. It's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna keep spinning your wheels, and you're gonna create frustration, and then you're gonna create where fans and your novice, watchers of college football are going to start turning the channel, because they're going to be so turned off that you guys are making all this money and you can't get it together. You can't get it together.
You're intentionally not getting it together.
Intentionally not getting it together after you were slapped on the wrist by the government to say, you know what, you need to start letting guys transfer. You need to start letting guys, make some money for the name, image, and likeness, and you've been getting away with it for so long, and now you can't even get right after you have essentially a free time frame. And so, I think it's just a little, I don't know, it's a little weird in the sense that nothing's gotten better, but you're making more money, and that's hard it's hard to have those conversations with anybody. Mm-hmm. Well, you guys look like you don't have your stuff together. Then they get right on their computer and pull up their bank account. Yes, we do. And that's where they're at. My man Rosebud from Elmwood. Rosebud, do you know who the most famous guy with the nickname Rosebud is? Do you? I know you don't know.
No.
Austin. Nope.
Yep.
From American Pimp. His name is Rosebud. Legendary. But anyways, he said he's not a transfer portal supporter, which that's never gonna. He's like, I'm old school football supporter. I understand that. But I think if you can get some sort of like concrete structure, it's kind of like the NBA playoffs or NBA season. You'll get more old school NBA when there's structure. When it comes time to doing A, B, C, and D, when you're in this college football thing, then you'll start to get some more old school type of like mentality. I think when you have a free for all, that's what you're getting right now. There's nothing out there that's even, reflects of old school football. I think you need to have the transfer portal. If I was going to do it, if you want to do it, like if you want to just go big, do it 4 times a year and shorten the time that you can do in portal. And then you have to have some structure for if you level up or level down, especially when you level up and you go and like rated like a James Madison. There needs to be some compensation. If you are trying to pay these athletes this type of money, then you have to take academics and holding people back based on credits transfer and all that out the door.
Oh yeah,
because you're not even making. Most schools aren't holding them accountable to academic standards that is normal.
Mm-hmm.
I know Nebraska does a good job, but most schools are like you hear the stories. I didn't even go to class. Okay, well, that's the case. Then you can jump in the portal 2, 3, 4 times, at least an option. Because now you're in one way you're paying them like professionals. Then on the other hand, you're trying to fight it. You're trying to not make it somewhat of a semi-pro professional league.
Mm-hmm.
That you can't. You're already paying them. They are professionals now.
Yeah,
they are pros, whether you like it or not. They are mm-hmm. pros. So figure out a way to be like a pro, whether you have a transfer fee like they do in European soccer, or you can trade them, or you can do, you only can transfer during the season during a bye week and it's another team. Whatever it is, you have to do it. If you transfer during the season, then there needs to be some like buyback principle. There's got to be something that's going on to do it. And I think the clarity of what Kirby Smart is asking is not too much to ask. He said, "Listen, we're playing it. We're going to dive in this like mud of college football. We're fine with it. We don't like it, but we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. Just let us know what's the deal,
mm-hmm.
because he wants to find the way which the college football needs is for Georgia to be back where Georgia is or was because it's better for college football. But he can't do that because he can't continue to re-recruit and recruit his new roster year in and year out.
When you threw out the 4 transfer portal idea, were you playing devil's advocate or are you actually on board with that?
That's my idea. So I am on board.
Why?
Why? Because we already how many do we have now?
2.
2, right? We originally had 4 teams in the playoffs, right?
What makes 4 better than 1?
Well, we're already at 2, so 1's eliminated. Because
But I feel like 1 would be the easiest step to go to.
But things change so much.
They do, but if you
okay.
can keep the transfer portal window consistent,
Right, but
that goes a long way for a
now
lot of
you're
people.
now, but then your decision is based on the coach leaving. So when do coaches usually leave? After bowl games.
After bowl games.
There you go.
Boom.
That's one. Okay, the second one is at or before spring, or you just do after spring. Then you do one right before camp because things change then, not much, right? And then you do it during the season. And you could even say that you get a transfer fee during the season. I just think that I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it. I'm not like advocate. I wouldn't like it. All I'm saying is if we're just like with 16 teams or 24, if you know why are you gonna sit up here and just get 12 and you already meet by 16? You don't even know what's wrong with 12 yet. Right?
You had 1 year of it. Right.
So you don't even know the ins and outs of 12. You really don't.
No. Correct.
Game times.
Correct.
Who should have home field advantage? Where bowl games? You don't even know it. And now you're talking about 16. So let's just eliminate 16 and let's talk and do 24.
Where you're going to get 2 anyways.
Right. So now we're at 2. We should you're right, probably should have 1, just like a signing period, but we already have 2 signing periods, right? So we got 2 transfer portal things, right? And you know what's going to be coming with with more transfer portal times, there's going to be different signing periods times. So if you know you're going to potentially get to 4 or to 3,
just get there.
Let's do it right now.
In that idea where you have the in-season transfer portal, I would not be surprised to see that one actually become a deterrent for teams more than players. You think about it in terms of professional teams, right? Not every team is a buyer. Not every team's a seller, right? You have to pick a lane. Which one are we going to go all in on this year?
Are you Philadelphia Eagles? Or are you the New England Patriots?
Right. You got to decide who you are. But if there's a transfer fee associated, obviously that fee would go to the team that the player's leaving, they're taking them from. But then what does the player get? Right?
I got the answer.
Because a trade, sir, maybe an agent has a little bit of control in player, now preferred destinations. But if you enter the transfer portal, you get to pick your school. Do you still get, some sort of NIL compensation? Do you get your salary for the rest of the year? Like that team picked up your contract in the pros? What does that look like? You got the answer. Please tell me.
Oh, yeah. Okay, just on that alone. You still be at your same contract, right? But you're going to have to pay, you're going to take a haircut. Okay, potentially. Now, that's negotiable.
The haircut is whatever we have to pay to get you.
Right, but the team is going to do that, pay that. But whether you go somewhere and make it the same or not, I have to think on that. I think you should make the same, maybe more, because that's what happens in trade. You get a new contract, right?
But what if you're a rental? Like you think about baseball.
Well, then a rental, then you have to be okay with it. Then there is no increase. Now, here's where we get a little bit tricky, though.
Wait, we're not tricky yet?
No, I know, right? Here's what I think.
Tricky.
I think either it's on a yearly basis or not. I think you need to have an allotment of transfer portal in-season gets versus once you go over your number, those guys have to sit out the rest of the season. Because here's what I would do as a coach. If the roster limit is at 105, whenever that would be, right? Or say whatever that is. And I have 10 spots open on my roster. I'm going around getting them to transfer there so I can develop them for a half a season and all through winter conditioning and get them on the field. No intention of playing them in 25.
So essentially it's like the reverse of what we had in basketball, where you could be eligible at Christmas.
Yeah.
Instead, you get that waiting period out of the way first.
Like almost another red shirt. Now you got to be willing to do it, but that's when you would start to attack some of the guys that already are in the red shirts that might, say they're like, oh man, I thought I was going to come in and be third on the depth chart and potentially play next year. Now I'm number 6. There's no way in the world. You see that very, very early, or you see a difference in coordinators and stuff, and they bring in the guys through the late transfer portal period, like after the bowl game season, then you'll be able to do it. I just think there's a great text here from Angry Rams fan. He says this. He said, when it's inevitable, make it immediate. And that's exactly what I'm saying. When it's inevitable, just go. Let's just forget.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Well, what's the point of up here just going to jibber jab? Dancing around and, it's like
tension. Right. More conversation.
It's like a stare off.
Yeah. You got a saloon.
Yeah.
Everyone's hands are
right. Yeah, you got a stare off. Right. Yeah. And you still got your gun in the holster.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's take these bad boys up. Let's empty them.
Bang,
right?
bang.
Right. So I think you have to, and I know they're trying to say, oh, we're trying to plan for the future and make it better, but you're making it worse.
Because they're trying to make it better for you.
Because
not trying to make it better.
Okay, let me ask you. You're a TV exec, and I'm coming to you talking about I want you to, put X bowl game on and put a whole bunch of money in there. Right? I'm asking you this. But you already know I'm thinking about 16. Because if it's 16 and either price is going to be the selling point that you have to be for 16, get in now so you don't get the increase when 16 is. On the flip side, says it like this. Well, since you have 16 teams, there's not as many. There's not 7 other bowl sites that are as prestigious than where we are.
Take the money you saved there,
right?
Put it here.
So then, actually, I'm in a power position. But you're sitting there. They're both sitting there, and then nobody's making a decision. The people that are trying to make decisions are talking about something in the future, and they're not dealing with the present. And then now everybody's in a flux, right? The whole talk was before guaranteed to go 105. Talked about it. I talked about this on Inside the Huddle on Sunday. Just think if you were a player and or agent that made the decision to transfer out of a situation in a place that maybe you liked or kind of started to develop in for the assumption and the perception, in some ways, the reality that 105 was coming for sure, hard like line 105, and you had to make a decision really quick. Now you're at a place that you kind of like reluctantly. Now you go from reluctantly loving the place to being head over heels of the place that when they're paying you like you should be head over heels. That's a very small percentage. So now maybe you're at a place that you're just okay with, just existing. That affects your football career. That affects your ability to go out there and perform the best on the field, and it's all based on the lack of leadership and decision making. And the decisions being made at wherever they're located.
Well, and the incentives that have been in place for a few years now with the transfer portal: get in first, you can get out first. Get in first when there's the most money available.
Right.
That has been
commit first.
And commit first. Right. Yeah. That has been the incentive, where this situation, that's how that was presented initially, but turns out maybe patience was a better option. And that's impossible to tell. You don't know. Maybe those who waited got lucky. But, the immediate pace of college football, the immediate incentives have worked against college football in the players in a lot of ways. And I think that any player can learn that, but it's on their own time, right? They can try to pass on as much advice as possible to the next generation. But what makes it difficult in college, and I know it's the same in the pros, but to a lesser scale sometimes, the amount of churn, the players coming in, there's a new crop every year. And there's a lot of them every year. And these guys that come in haven't learned the lessons that the guys who are in year 4, year 5, year 6, or even year 7 have learned. We're like, hey, maybe you know what? Maybe sticking it out was better. You can only tell, if you're a 7th year senior, 6th year senior, you can only tell, a bratty freshman that so many times. Maybe he listens to you. More likely than not, he probably doesn't.
Especially if
everyone has to learn the lesson on their own time. So until there are clearer rules in place, guys are going to keep, and girls, obviously, both sides, are going to keep jumping into the transfer portal until they learn that lesson that, hey, maybe the grass isn't always greener on their own.
And on the other side, that, actually Austin and or Jay weren't were better than we originally gave him credit for. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
We got a really good text here. 5860 says, transfer whatever you want, right? He says, if you took a snap in a game, you cannot play that season or the next. That's probably a little too harsh, right? If you practice, no playing the rest of the season, July 1 cutoff for new season exclusion. I like the thought process of having some rules.
And then the problem is it limits the economic earning.
Right. And you know that if you play in a game, you're out this season or the next. Okay, I thought it said and the next. I like that. And if you have a cutoff, but that reminds me of the targeting rule. Yeah. Okay, you target somebody in the second in the fourth quarter, you're missing, the game, or the first quarter of the game, you're missing, too much time the next. I like the mindset though. Set some rules, and you can always adjust the rules. And as long as people know the rules, so then there is some decisions, and it could keep guys in certain places and positions to where they got to stick it out and become a better player. I do like the one-time transfer rule for free, maybe even 2. Things change so much as far as assistant coaches, coordinators, and head coaches. You can no longer feel that the player needs to be loyal to said university. You have to like the university, in some cases love it, but you got to love your coaches and the team that you're playing for as much, and or in this case even more, because that's how you're getting paid. So I think that, coming up with a somewhat of a plan, it will work, I think, better in the long term. And anytime you do it at the beginning, the players always are on the catch-up position because they're not the decision makers.
Right.
I think also one of the things you talked about, younger players listening to older players, these dudes ain't listening to nothing. Well, you could tell him, maybe you need to send a text. Hey, this is a reminder. This is what you might not want to do. You got to probably do it via text, especially if these players are coming and getting paid. And some of them are getting paid more than the guy that they've came in and essentially paycheck their way onto the field. Meaning, if you're better than if you're established or a decent player at said position, but they're playing or paying a younger guy, the younger guy is going to play.
Yeah,
it's not even about on the field; he's going to play. So that's also happens in free agency in the NFL, and you have to deal with that as well. And maybe you can. I'll say this real quick. Maybe on transfer portal guys and transfer times, why don't you kind of tag them? Right? I talk about the different. You have the franchise tag, the transition tag. Right. You have the, different types of like tenders, like when we were in I guess pre-free agency, when you're in kind of a pre-contract year, I was drafted late in the 5th round. So your regular tender would be at a certain level. If you were, the second, or higher up division of the tender, you were getting paid twice as much. And then when you got up to franchise tag, you were super paid. So if you want to do that, maybe that'll directly be a correlation to how much they have to sit out. Now, what's also piggybacked on that is if I deem you as a high tender, right? I need you to play right now. That means I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
That means I'm paying for it. If it's somebody that I'm getting and I'm like, he really liked us, I liked him. Maybe the coordinator that recruited him is here and he's going through a rough patch. He wants to be closer to home. You're just a regular tender. Then you got to sit out a couple games and you just got to develop and you're on the shelf. And there's compensation for that as well.
Could you be limited then in the number of transfers the next year? Because I don't think you want to take away roster spots, right? No. Like if we go get this guy to play, you lose, 3 roster spots next year. I don't think that's the right move. I think it would be in the vein of, okay, you needed this guy this year, so you handicap yourself with a 1 or 2 player penalty per se next year.
And if you use up, say 2 of your big ones back-to-back years, or say in the same year, say you really need a quarterback or whatever, well then you're nullified in next year's free agency or whatever.
That would be the college football version of the Stepien rule. The former Cavs owner that traded away all his first-round picks. So now you can't trade away back-to-back first-round picks.
Or, so you get fined and you lose maybe some picks or some tags or whatever. So anyways, Commissioner Jay, Commissioner Austin are going to take a quick break. Old School coming at you live. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Now's the best time to lock in early order savings on a new John Deere planter from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Plan for success with the latest technology, including Exact Emerge high-speed planters that help you cover more acres with greater precision and productivity. Order your planter for next year now to unlock the biggest savings of the season. Contact your local Landmark location today and experience the Landmark difference.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Electrical Enterprises in Roca reminds you, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those who serve today. This from Electrical Enterprises in Roca. For all of your residential and commercial electrical construction needs, call 402-438-5822. We live in the land of the free thanks to the brave.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions with pay starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, second segment, little NFL going on here. The one thing, Austin, for you NFL fans, there's two things. How much stock do you put into, for you Chiefs fans? I'm gonna tap into you guys though. How much stock do you put into the random picture of Patrick Mahomes where he looks like he's about 286 pounds? That last picture, it was not a very flattering picture.
He's already addressed that. He addressed it last offseason.
He did not. Yeah, he got the dad. But you know what? That arm is for real, so it don't matter what you look like, Patrick Mahomes.
He's just more of a pocket guy now.
Yeah, but he can pick him up and put him down, man. As long as you don't look like Harrison Beck, you all good. You ever seen him on the internet?
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't look like that, but he's got an arm too. But more importantly, Terry Bradshaw went in on Aaron Rodgers. He said he could stay out in California and eat bark. And he says that the reason why he's upset is because the Steelers have not handled their quarterback position like good at all since Roethlisberger's retired. You drafted Pickett, and he was true. He was right on point. He's like they couldn't run the ball. They didn't have an offensive line that could protect him, and he had no weapons. And then you shipped him off like he was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And they still haven't addressed it. And now you're sitting up here holding your whole franchise up for Aaron Rodgers that essentially you're going to be in the same situation with him next year. Because he ain't going to commit to coming back after next year unless you win a Super Bowl. So now you've bypassed different quarterbacks in the draft, no matter if it was you trying to get Jackson Dart or you trying to get a couple of other ones that were drafted after Jackson Dart, or you could have drafted or traded up, or you could have picked Shedeur Sanders as a potential replacement.
You said no.
And all you have is Mason Rudolph, who you let go in the year prior. And you weren't sold on him either.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have I wouldn't say a make or break year for Mike Tomlin. You got a pretty big career or a big year for his coaching career at Pittsburgh. Now, granted, if Mike Tomlin somehow got fired, he'd be picked up by the time he got in his card, right? Or if he wanted to.
Would he take the gap year like Vrabel? I think that'd be a very similar thing. Like, he came to a lot of success, didn't achieve at the highest level.
I think he would chill, revamp his game. He's like Vrabel, be excellent on TV. And then you know what? He might like it too much in the booth and not go back. But I think that I think he would, unless it was a perfect situation, unless it was like him and Todd Bowles are tight, but say Tampa, I know he really loved his time in Tampa, or the Minnesota job, I know he loved it up there, or like somehow the Commanders job because he's from the Virginia area, that he would take it right away. Otherwise, not. But I'm just saying, if I was a head coach, now they might know Aaron Rodgers is already committed. I don't like it because you ain't been here. Now you got June minicamp coming up, which is generally mandatory, like mandatory. If he ain't there, then Pittsburgh, you can forget it. You ain't beating Cleveland this year. This Cleveland that's in flux with 85 quarterbacks in their quarterback room. Joe Flacco said he wants to be the leader in the house. It's an ultimate fumble by a blue blood storied franchise not to have a quarterback that's viable, already locked and loaded on their team. And I know Pittsburgh's a small market, so you're not going to get a lot of stuff coming out of there, like, coming out. But everybody on the team I would be worried sick if I was Cam Hayward.
If I'm DK Metcalf.
Who's
throwing me the ball?
But DK just got piss ate, so he's fine. But Cam Hayward, who's probably he's year to year, if that.
TJ Watt doesn't have the extension
yet. Doesn't have an extension yet. I'd be thinking like, man, what the heck is going on? Because we got to win this year. We don't have time. You already said that we're not going to go with the development route with the quarterback. So then you're going to have to think it's either we have our eyes on Aaron Rodgers, or we feel that we're just holding our cards close to the vest and we're getting Kirk Cousins because he skipped the first day of minicamp.
Yeah.
That's the only, here's the thing is there's no other options. Now here's where I think the problem is. Pittsburgh is thinking we have two options. Okay. Rodgers potentially, it seems like it, or trade for Kirk Cousins. Here's where you run into trouble. If I know it in Lincoln, The Falcons know it, and Aaron Rodgers' agent know it. So now you're going to pay 15 to 20% more. Now, then, if you get in the middle of the season, you go through a lull like everybody does, and you're like, really, was it worth it? When in the longer you wait, the pain becomes more deafening.
If it's inevitable, make it immediate.
Make it immediate. Why sit around and play games? Like, you could have signed Aaron Rodgers when he went there on a visit. He's all right, man. Look, he's got some stuff he's got to clean up. This is our quarterback. We'll see you in July.
Yeah.
If you want Kirk Cousins, if you wanted Kirk Cousins as an option when Aaron Rodgers was visiting, and you didn't feel that you felt like he had the stuff to get, and it's kind of 50-50.
Kirk is walking in the facility as Aaron's walking out.
You could have got Kirk Cousins on the next flight.
Mm-hmm.
But now, here you are essentially in June, and you ain't got a quarterback. Don't dare to try to say Mason Rudolph is the answer.
No. If here's the answer, it would have been the answer by now, more than likely.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, it's...
My thing, though, is Terry Bradshaw. Right? Like, does he know something? Does he not know something? And how much weight does his opinion carry? You know, I'm not anti-Terry Bradshaw by any means, but I'm not exactly looking up to him as the emblem of this is what an NFL insider looks like. Clearly, he's a legend inside that organization for the Super Bowls. And, you know, his voice should carry some weight and certainly be respected. But if you're the Steelers, you know, does he know your plans? How much of your plans does he know? Is he at arm's length and he's in your building every so often? You bring him back for alumni weekends and talks or something. I just don't know how much stock to put into these Terry Bradshaw comments, because I'm with him in that Aaron Rodgers doesn't strike me as a Steelers type of player, but I would also be lying if I said I believe Pittsburgh actually takes Terry Bradshaw's opinion into account.
Well, I know Mike Tomlin doesn't, because Terry Bradshaw said he was a horrible coach and all he could do was motivate.
Right.
So I doubt Mike Tomlin's like, hey, did you hear what Terry said? He's like, man, well, he actually probably is. You hear what this idiot is saying now? I don't think they are. I mean, I think they're aware of it. They're listening, but I also don't think that they're putting a ton of weight on it. But also, for every bad message, you have to see if there's some sort of factual, facts, or there's something that's true in there. It's just like, I remember listening to your boy Jay Billis was talking about criticism he gets when people probably say, oh, you weren't very good on TV or, your analysis. He's like, listen, I'll listen. He's like, I'll listen to everything. And if some of it's true, then I'll, take it and address it. Pittsburgh right now is in serious trouble. They've made probably the best moves this offseason that they could have done, right? Where you think about, okay, you get rid of the knucklehead Pickens. You bring in Metcalf. You got your tight end coming back. You decide on the running back. You draft the running back in the second round.
Arthur Smith.
Then you got the big D lineman as Cam Hayward 2.0. You got depth because you got Benton from the year before. You can, find the, rub your pennies together and pay TJ Watt, right? The best player in the league, defensive player. You will pay him eventually. Okay. He will force you to play him. But the one thing that should always come before all those things I said is have a starting quarterback. Now, I do think they had a tremendous draft and value in drafting Will Howard. I think he's better than a 5th round draft choice or 6th round or wherever he went. I think they got Caleb Johnson good. But Will Howard isn't ready to start right now. He's ready to start.
Which is too bad because he probably needs to be as an older prospect.
He does. Well, I think he would be fine, but I just think he needs another year. Because you got to think the offense that he ran at Kansas State isn't close to, I'm assuming, what he's going to run in
or at Ohio State.
Yeah. That was his first year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's sneaky athletic. I think he kind of fits Pittsburgh's personality, kind of overlooked and all that. I just think he needs another year, maybe even 2. Right? You got Skylar Thompson as well, right?
Ask Jake Sorensen how that's worked out.
Jake was all about him until he started playing back.
But
if you decided to get Kirk Cousins, and he's probably got 2 good years left in him, that's where Will Howard comes in. Now you're stunting the team's immediate production without a quarterback this year, as it sits right now. And you're also stunting Will Howard's future possibility of being that quarterback, a Brock Purdy, a Tom Brady, drafted late, developed, sat, and now he's our franchise. You essentially punch yourself in the face from both sides with both hands, and wonder why you have two black eyes. And and also I know Aaron Rodgers, according to what he said, he's got some stuff he's got to take care of, and I'm always respectful of that. But I also know this: you cannot think that you can take a whole offseason. We've seen this before. You've seen it the last couple of years in Green Bay. We've seen it in New York, right? They wanted you to commit to being there. You didn't. That's the real reason they wasn't as bad. They didn't trust him to be there. You cannot think that you can take this much time off and lose and have timing with this type of NFL training camp structure. A lot of time off, not I don't think little to, if any, 2-a-days, not very physical. You're kind of using preseason games as practice because you practice and play. So it's totally different. So your ramp up time is longer now.
Well, and you're behind because you're not in the building, not on the same timeline
Right.
as everyone else. And on the one hand, absolutely, it's on Aaron Rodgers, right? Player accountability, it's on him if he wants to be viewed as that quarterback. He's got to be up to that standard. But on the other hand, it's also on the organizations for allowing him to get away with it. Not setting if you haven't signed a contract by this date, we're out.
Yeah.
They continue to play the game that it seems like Aaron Rodgers wants to play. And to be honest, you have to play some of that game, play the politics, right?
With a player
With a
like
player
that.
of his caliber, his stature, you can play that game a little bit. You can do a little footsie, but come on. At some point, have some respect as an organization and for the players that
You
are
gotta
on
be
the
willing
team.
Sometimes you got to be willing to walk away from hard situations that even though you know you don't want to. There's always a saying is, please don't make me do something I don't want to do. But I also think that they are negotiating with the revisionist history of Aaron Rodgers of 2015 or 20 or whenever he won his last
21.
MVP. That's what I think. That's what they're doing. It's no different than sometimes like when you have a player that was really good early in their career and it's their senior year, like, man, he was a freshman All-American. Well, he's a senior scrub. So, we'll see what happens. We'll take a quick break, come back, and we're going to see what type of prayer we need to do for the Timberwolves down there in Oklahoma City. Who on the Timberwolves needs to step up besides Ant-Man? Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, quick break. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jumpstart your summer to the max. Walk into any Max Tan in Lincoln and get a $5 standing tan session or a $5 red light wellness booth session. Your summer tan starts today with $5 sessions at Max Tan with 3 Lincoln locations.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with pay starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Breathe easier inside your home with Bryant. Eliminate allergens and odors and control humidity too. For a breath of fresh air, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Electrical Enterprises in Roca reminds you, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those who serve today. This from Electrical Enterprises in Roca. For all of your residential and commercial electrical construction needs, call 402-438-5822. We live in the land of the free thanks to the brave.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Ford with Austin Orman, man. I think that's I don't know what we're gonna call it ticket weeknights, but we're gonna have to definitely use that new studio that we got over there for the podcast. It can't be on regular radio.
No,
we have to do it on a YouTube channel or
Got to
something.
get to one of the docs in to tell their side of the story.
Hey, man. I mean, sometimes, I'm in those.
You hear
I'm in surgery centers and all this stuff, and you just and look, man. I can't tell a story I just told Austin, but here's one of the funniest stories ever happened to me, and I've been in and out. I mean, when they know you on a first name basis, like you're back at like hospitals, you've been in somewhere so long. So whether you believe in COVID or not, I don't really need to get into it. I know I had COVID, okay, or whatever you want, whatever it was, it got me.
Mm-hmm.
And if my man Ian, if you're listening, Ian, one of my favorite players of all time, I love you to death. I know his parents are listening. I know you gave it to me. It was during basketball. We were in non-contact basketball. You didn't get in.
Mm-hmm.
And I grabbed his ball. Then he was sick, and then I was sick. Your boy was
fighting it.
I was contemplating life.
Oh boy.
Okay, I was like, hey, am I willing trusting
quarantine, baby?
Yeah. Oh, I was more than quarantined. I was thinking like. I was happy I was waking up.
Quarantine 6 feet under.
So anyways, I got this like I got sent to the hospital where they kind of give you this treatment to kind of help you get to where you're just in the starting phases of recovery. Cause I was down, like down. And so you get there early. I had to get there like 5 a.m. and it's like a 7-hour treatment or something. And so I started to, not really perk up a little bit, but you nap and you're up and they wake you up and let you sleep, take your vitals. So I'm leaving now, right? Because it went in like 8-hour shifts and then they had to like sanitize the room or whatever. So well, I guess, I guess a voice that was some people recognize. I thought I was in bad shape. Well, first of all, I knew I was in bad shape. Okay. Because I was willing to battle and mental, but I was broke down. Okay. I was just down. And it was standing 8 count.
Woo.
Yeah. I was like that dude that fought the gypsy man that fought Deontay Wilder and he woke up from the dead. That's how I was. But when I tell you I'm walking out of there and I looked over at this dude that had COVID or I won't say COVID. He was sick. He was 10 times worse than me.
Woo.
So you don't want to look over. He heard my voice. He woke up. He's like, Jay Foreman? Right? Right? He's like, Jay Foreman? He's like, 93.7 the ticket? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I thought it was you, and laid right back down. I was like, yeah, but also, hey, here's the thing. But imagine this. I got a mask on. I got shades on. I had in the summertime, I had a skull cap on because I was cold.
Yeah.
And I had gloves on. So it wasn't like he seen my face. He woke up from the desert. Jay Foreman? 93.7 ticket? I thought it was you. I was like, yeah, and he went right back to sleep. I did check on him. He did make it.
He did make it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So at least
So we love to hear.
I would hate for this ugly face to be the last thing you ever see. Anyways, story time like always. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, old school, the new school way. We'll holler at you.
Where are we at tomorrow?
Oh, we got Talbot tomorrow, 6 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m. We're gonna be bringing it.
Give it to Lincoln.com.
Give it to
Search Matt
Lincoln.com.
Talbot.
Give it to everybody, man. Have your allotment and spread it. We'll be on the scene with the Gangster Lean, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll holler at you live from Talbot tomorrow.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through June 3rd is $1 off per pack on Plum Creek chicken, $1 off all bacon, and 15% off cheese and crackers. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think you're